Hey guys, Joey's here, all about the dyslexic life. And this live this afternoon is going to be a little bit controversial. But I have got a couple of posts at the moment that are going a bit crazy on TikTok, which is really great. But whenever a post goes really crazy, I receive loads and loads and loads of messages, which I'm super grateful for. However, there is only so much help that you can give in a message. But it's also made me realize that some people with dyslexia really hack me off. Now, I know this is a really awful thing to say because I am a dyslexia advocate. I'm dyslexic myself. So let me explain. So there are some people with dyslexia who walk around playing the dyslexic victim, and they basically give dyslexia a bad name. So we really want to be trying to change the perception of dyslexia, because if we're dyslexic and we've got lived experience, we know that we are really capable. We know that we can do really brilliant things. Yes, it impacts literacy skill. But the problem is lots of these people that hack me off have got a real chip on their shoulder because they're cross, because they weren't identified at school, and they didn't receive the support that they had at school. And it's all about everything they haven't got and what they can't afford. And here's the thing. I didn't get support with dyslexia when I was at school. I wasn't diagnosed dyslexic when I was at school. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 34. And when it came to assessment, I had to fund that myself. Nobody was going to fund that for me. Like the other thing which is really hugely annoying me at the moment, are the amount of people messaging me asking me how to apply for PIP. I don't know how to apply for PIP. Yes, I've got dyslexia. Yes, I've got ADHD. Yes, that's a disability, but actually want to support myself and I don't know how to apply for those things. And it makes me realize that sometimes it's those people that give people with dyslexia a bad name. So it's like you almost want, so I responded to a message yesterday, and I appreciate this is really controversial, but I responded to a message yesterday where somebody said in their work, they were at some training, and in the training, the tutor asked them to put their hand up and asked them to disclose whether they had dyslexia or not. And what happened was, put his hand up, and the tutor totally humiliated them and totally basically said to these people that put their hand up, oh, have you got evidence to prove that you're dyslexic, or are you just jumping on the bandwagon because you want me to do something differently? And the trouble is, the main bulk of people with dyslexia genuinely struggle and genuinely want support. I've got so much I could say about that because it was a really ableist response from that particular tutor. But actually, if we're looking at, well, we're going to get a diagnosis because our main reason for getting a diagnosis is so that we can apply for PIP and so that we can get money and so that we can actually say that we need X, Y, and Z, that doesn't necessarily help our cause. And I'm not saying it's not about wanting or needing help, because help is really important, but you have to meet that help halfway. Like you can't, so many people with dyslexia expect you to fix it for them. And actually, there's an element of, yes, we can ask for help. And it is that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's exactly the same with dyslexia support. Like I can give you all the advice, support, and strategies under the sun, but some of those you are going to have to implement yourself. I'm not going to be able to do it for you. Your employer is not going to be able to do it for you. There is an element of hard work involved there, and an element of you taking responsibility and you taking ownership for your dyslexia and kind of working with it. So it's been an interesting 48 hours in my world, and I hate saying that, but actually, if we really want to change the narrative of dyslexia, and we really want people to know what dyslexia really is, and we really want people to understand it, and we want people to work with us, then that is the narrative that we need to demonstrate, that actually we're dyslexic and we're proactive and we've got problem-solving skills. We know we really struggle with this. Please, can you help us by implementing X, Y, and Z approach? It's about the way that you have the conversation, and time again, I get, I haven't progressed at work because I'm dyslexic and I can't read and spell, and I can't really do anything to improve that because there are no lessons or whatever. Well, actually, you can work on your reading yourself. There are loads of YouTube videos out there. There's loads of free content out there now. But actually, if you really want to improve it, find an adult learning tutor. Like, there are loads of tutors out there. Like, find a way to take the first step. And then you will find that people are much more willing to meet you halfway. So a bit of a ranty live and a bit of a controversial one, I know, but nobody is going to do it for you. So, I self-funded my assessment, self-funded both of my assessments, my dyslexia assessment and my ADHD assessment. And I've talked really openly about access to work. And actually, I should be claiming access to work, and I'm not because I missed a deadline. That's another story. But it isn't about having a disability so that you can claim the funding or claim the support. It's about looking at how that support and how are you going to invest in yourself to move yourself forward. And I guess that's another one of my frustrations. Like, I throw loads of free content out on TikTok, loads of free content. And, I want it to be accessible to everybody. But actually, there's only so much advice and support I can give you in an inbox message. And actually, if you want the real transformation, if you really want to be inspired by me, and if you really want to see that transformational change, and you really want to own your dyslexia, and you really want to be a confident dyslexic, then actually you need to invest in some kind of mentoring or coaching program. I didn't get here by just free advice. Like, I funded assessments, I funded courses that I've been through, I've gained additional qualifications. I still work with a coach and a mentor now. In fact, I work with several coaches and mentors. I've had counseling in the past. I've had therapy in the past. I have done so much work on my mindset and my past experiences to get to where I've got to now. It hasn't happened overnight, and nobody's given me a penny. Like, I've worked really hard, and I've actively made the decision that I am worth investing in. So yeah, just a little bit of food for thought there, that actually, if we're really, really, really wanting to shift the narrative of dyslexia and we're wanting people to understand us, then we need to think about how we're portraying ourselves. And actually, if we're portraying ourselves that, we've got a diagnosis, and almost wielding that diagnosis as a shield, a weapon, that actually that now means you need to do X, Y, and Z, and I don't have to do anything like that. And I'm not saying that employers understand, because many employers don't understand, they don't get it. But actually, there is a way and a method and approach to go about kind of meeting people halfway to get what we need to be successful. And you don't get that by being a dyslexic victim and saying, you haven't supported me, you should have done this, that, and the other. Actually, I've got a diagnosis, and I've discovered that I work best if I do it this way. I know that I've got a weakness with working memory, and that new thing that you've implemented, it just doesn't work for me. Please, can I do it this way instead? It's about having those conversations, and you have to think, if we want to really shift the perception of dyslexia, then that starts with how people perceive us as dyslexics themselves. Now, I'm not saying it's always easy, because it's definitely not always easy for me. There's a lot that I keep hidden, but I'm not prepared for my dyslexia to manage me. I want to manage my dyslexia myself. And, I've got oodles of strategies, tips, advice, and support to be able to do that. And I will happily share that with you. But I can't share it with you in a free video or a free live, not because I don't want to give it away for free, but it's more complicated than that. If it was as simple as just giving somebody a piece of information or a strategy and you implementing it, amazing. But let's be honest, when we implement stuff, even if you need something in the workplace, there's an element of building your confidence. There's an element of understanding why you might need that strategy. There's an element of trial and error with it. There are all sorts of things going on. So yeah, I just want you to think about that. I'm going to log off of the YouTube live and I'm going to stay on the TikTok live at the same time. So wait there, TikTok. But really, all that is left for me to say to you YouTubers is Dyslexic Life with Jo Reese is now over and out. Hey guys.